Hey, this is Todd from Roxy Blue, and you're watching CMS TV. Crank it up.
Users or whatever. What do you call them? Snowflakes or
snowflakes? Yeah.
Killers this week. Kleenex killers. We take all our assault weapons and we hand them in like the Australians. It's, here you go. But they all go into this library. And when you take a background check and you pay some tiny fee, you just check out the assault rifle for the weekend, right? And I don't want to store all the assault rifles at my house. Let's have some assault rifle. Then we have those libraries and you drive around. We should have more of them than churches too. You just drive around. There's the assault library. Assault library. And you go and they go, I'm going to take the M50 for the weekend or next week. And, they just take your library card and you take it out and you just fucking shoot the shit out of it and you bring it back. And then at home, you have your pistol, your rifle, and your shotgun with normal human magazines. And how much more stuff could we shoot? I'm already advocated high-intensity professional fireworks should be legal in every state with no age limit.
Well, I agree with you there. Well,
they're just worried about the assault rifles. I'm like, well, why don't we just have more fun with them then?
Well, let me ask you something, Eric. You and I talked a little bit about guns, and you said you have a few guns of your own, and I have some guns, and Chris has some guns.
I'm in Arizona, dude. It's a requirement. No one lives in Arizona with no guns.
Okay. Well,
babies.
Well, I have yet to have anybody answer this question. What exactly is an assault weapon? What is assault weapon? What is it?
The one that's designed with the spinning bullet and all that. So it's not when you shoot a rifle,
yes,
or even most shotguns or a pistol, most pistols, the bullet goes in, it does its job, and you harvest the deer or Carlos, and then it operates like that. The assault rifle is specially designed to kick the fucking shit out of the vehicle the person's driving in, anybody around you, massive. You're coming under attack by a platoon of Somalis, and your friends hurt. You need that. So we kept developing that better and better and better to do that. So we should have a little better control than letting 21-year-olds run around with them.
Well, again, the term is thrown around so easily. An assault.
What term? The
assault weapon.
Oh, well, what should we call them? Because what's funny is I love when people go, "Well, it's for protection."
Well, again, if I whacked you over the head with a baseball bat, would that not be an assault weapon?
Yes, I do think it could be. But the assault weapon is designed to do a military function.
Like
kind of like a jet fighter, an aircraft carrier, a nuclear submarine. It's made just for that.
Yeah, I don't see hefting a aircraft carrier or a jet fighter up on my shoulder and just walking around town with that.
Well, you should work out more. If you're out of shape, I can't.
Eric, one of my guns is a Taurus Judge, and it shoots 410 rounds that are Kevlar piercing. Would that be an assault rifle?
And
no, I have the Smith & Wesson of that.
Yeah.
The Governor.
It's one of my guns.
It's the Governor.
The Governor. And what's great is, you give that to, that's for, I kind of always, for my wife, or I'm lazy or fun, because you just shoot that once, in the general direction. So that's an absolute, that's probably the perfect home protection weapon made, is that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't have to be precise with that. You just sort of aim in the area. You're going to fucking take everything out.
Also in the house, dude, you shoot it down your, I take phone books and stuff and scare my friends. Or do it in the garage, because there's people never shot something,
Right.
So out in the garage, here I got a bunch of phone books. It's like that thing, just the concussion it makes inside. You don't really you could just shoot it into a tennis shoe, and the people that were in your house are leaving. You don't need an assault weapon. Again, the assault weapon thing's kind of funny to me. Like, I'm all for the library because I can just go back to the pre-Dorito.
Right.
Don't have Doritos anymore, but Lay's still have a semi-sharp edge. Lay's potato chips. So what did you think I was going to be like against the fucking coolest home or vehicle personal protection weapon in the United States, especially when you load it 3 and 3?
I didn't think so. I would think that you'd be, especially living where you live, I would think you definitely would be for it.
I love it. But I loaded 3 and 3 too, and it's just laying around.
So you put 3 slugs in and 3 shotgun shells in.
Well, 345s.
Yeah.
Right. That's what the purpose of having that would be.
Have you done that, Chris?
No, I keep the Kevlar cutters. I want to kill everything. If I ever aim it at something, I want to be sure it's dead.
But what do you need? What do you kill? I can't believe that a little wonderful person like you would have so many people coming to murder you that you're like saying that. Like, what do you shoot? Is this for hunting or just fun or just people coming in the windows?
It's for home protection, and
fuck him.
It's for see, here's the deal, Eric. I'm gonna tell you the truth from it. When I was 14 years old, I guess it was 13 or 14 years old, I had a guy that tried to come into my house. I was a kid and I was sleeping. I fell asleep under my dad's pool table, and we had like a front room with a pool table, and had a guy try to climb.
Rape story right now.
Right? But we had a guy try to come in through a window, and I ended up, I grabbed a baseball bat and I smashed him in his fucking face and knocked him out, but he fell out the window, and I was like, it scared the shit out of me. And
you probably have PTSD even now from that. Sure. What age are you?
I was like 13 or 14.
Yeah, you're always going to want to protect your ground.
Fuck yeah. But after that, I just remember my dad telling me like a day or two later, he's like, if they get in, you better beat them till they're dead. Do not give them a chance to get up. And I have that in my head that if somebody comes in and tries to hurt me or my family, I'm going to leave them dead in my house. It's that simple.
You don't ever tie them up and fuck with them for a little while first.
No. Dude, I wouldn't have to. If I shot that tourist judge with a 410 Kevlar cutter, come on.
So wimpy about everything. It's like, tie the person. So you hit them with the baseball bat. They don't learn anything.
Yeah.
You got to torture them a little bit. You love coming in the windows. Like, how many times could that happen in a life? You know?
Well,
I feel sorry for the person coming through the window. Like, what is going on in your life where you want to climb in the window, which isn't easy. Not even just break in. Why do you want to climb in the window? Not comfortable.
Just because it's open, I guess. Open, it's easier to cut a screen than open a door.
All right, we'll talk about rock music for a short bit before you play a song, or I don't know if you have to take a break, but Sacred Reich, do you guys listen to that new record?
Sure.
I like that record, yeah.
What do you think about the whole, because they live down the street, and the guy that puts it all together is like, Mr. I'm a Buddhist, and it's an awakening, and we got to stop Trump tonight, and all this kind of stuff.
Who's that, Phil? Phil Rind?
Yeah, but he doesn't live like that.
Oh, no?
He's about as Buddhist as Boris Karloff is Frankenstein. He called everybody in the neighborhood around here to help with Bernie, and then he just dropped the ball on his dick. When they went in to make this album, I think it's funny, he got rid of half the band and started managing them. So he got rid of half the band, took a management. It's just a weird, like, money grab thing. I think the album sounds pretty good, but for that guy to say Buddhist and have that artwork on the cover, that's probably the fakest thing. Like Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil was more satanic than he's Buddhist.
Well, dude, he's also an opportunist. This is a good time. Sacred Reich was always, sort of politically based, and now's a good time to be a political band.
No, you're totally smart. A lot of people say that. Well, they need to get away from the politics. Like, that's all he's ever done.
Yeah, that's all they've ever been. What do you think Surf Nicaragua was? Just a song? No, it was totally
It's funny because their band is like, they got to be the craziest motherfuckers I ever dealt with.
then or now.
Just probably both.
Really?
Like, dude, if you look at their live album, it says right on it, EB, thank you for the idea. If you get their little box set from Metal Blade, which is the last thing they put out before The Awakening, there's a couple CDs in there, and there's a DVD called Just Say Sacred that I made, that I recommend you all watch. It's pretty good. And then my name's on there in a bigger font, because me and Metal Blade guy did that as a joke. My name's in a bigger font than any of their names.
Nice.
Plus, Phil Rind would not go on tour anymore. He's like, I'm bitter about, I'm not touching it. He didn't touch a bass for probably, 15 years or some shit.
Sure.
And then all these people in Europe were going, hey, will you guys come do some festivals? And I said to him, you're a bitch. You're a fucking fat bitch. You're sitting here doing nothing. You have to borrow money from me to pay your electric bill, which he has, and not pay me back like most Buddhists and burning people. They want free electricity, you know.
Are Buddhists known for not paying people back?
Dude, I don't even know if there's such a thing. Like, what is Buddhist? Kung Fu? Have you ever met a Buddhist? It's like a cannibal, you know?
It's like
I got a cannibal neighbor, and there's a Buddhist next door, too. Like, there's this... What does that even mean? This is nonsense. I'm a Buddhist. Shut the fuck up. Do they fucking not pay people back? They're people. Well, of course not. So anyway, he's just a lion-ass motherfucker, this guy.
Dude, do you think that they brought McLean back?
I shamed them. I said, you're getting offers to go to Europe. Your wives, who are all bitches, except for maybe one, have never been to Europe. You can take your wives on a European trip, have someone else pay for it and perform. If you don't go, you're a fucking piece of shit that should die in a big microwave. You're just fat. You're terrible. He has fat kids. He's called me, recent history. EB, I need some help over at the house. I'm like, what's going on? I got to move a washer and a dryer. All right. So I come over. His kids, who are teenagers, are sitting in the living room. It looks like couple of Hindenburg crashes under dirty laundry and Taco Bell wrappers to the ceiling. While the mom's at work. Like, this is the whole Bernie thing. Oh my God. My wife wanted to kick his ass. She was like, Bernie, I'll help. She came home from some stuff dealing with him. I've never been more disrespected. I'm like, he's a Buddhist. Care about you? Jesus Christ. They don't even go to the movies. They don't care about anything. They're Buddhists.
Oh my God.
They don't go. They want to go to In-N-Out Burger, have any fun. There's fucking... Plus, where Buddhists are from, the Himalayas, there's low oxygen up there. It's like the top of China.
So it kind of affects their brain function, huh?
Totally.
Wow.
Also, hey,
Yeah.
the guy we work with, part of the Jag Panzer resurgence. So I'd say that. You guys ever heard of Jag Panzer?
Well, we know who Jag Panzer is, sure.
Yeah, man. There's no bands coming up, right? Nothing. So we have to go back and get Jag Panzer going again. Like, that's why Sacred Reich's doing good and things like that. Nothing's coming up.
Who's bringing Jag Panzer back?
What do you mean?
Who do you think is bringing them back to the forefront? Harry, because he's doing 3 Tremors?
That's one thing. And again, I know you're locked up a lot of the times. Why I asked Neely, you're all right. They're going to doing these European festivals, even headlining. They just did a good tour where, 80% of the shows sold out clubs.
All right. Yeah.
But again, believe me, I was more laughing more than you. But a guy that works with the heavy metal television crew is like their bass player. And I'm watching all this unfold, and the answer is no one's coming up. So these people are just going through the roles. Jag Panzer's still around? We can get them. There's a band from Arizona that's put out a record. They're called Saint Madness. It's really good. Look up the new Saint Madness.
It's time for the Classic Metal Show to start begging for email.
What the hell is email?
Death sent me an email.
Well, when you figure it out, email me.
And here's your loser beggars, Neely and Chris.
You've got mail.
All right.
That whole old AOL, you've got mail.
You've got mail, I know. And when we put it out, that was not old. That was like probably modern.
Yeah.
Too funny. You know, well, this email comes from John, I'm going to say Smith because I can't pronounce this last name, but it's like 13 letters long.
Okay. And he writes.
Thanks to you guys, I have become a big fan of Jericho Green. So there is the indirect love for Mr. Neely.
Mm-hmm.
Brought Jericho to the show.
Right.
I really enjoyed the interview you guys did with him, so I went and checked out his channel on YouTube and love a few videos that I have seen so far. I love that you guys have different topics on your show other than just music. If it wasn't for your show, I would most likely not know what is going on in this country. Well, dude, you got to change that. If you're getting all your news about what's happening from us, you're not reaching far enough. I will say that. Thanks again for another great episode last week. And I am also now a fan of Dirty Honey. There's the Chris one. I do check out the things you guys recommend, like bands, movies, and documentaries. That's from John.
Okay, John.
Yeah. So what do you think of that?
Well, you know, the way that I look at this show, and we've said it before, is that, you know, if you look at our Spreaker, it can give you our demographics.
Right.
And our demo is right in our age range.
Sure.
So a lot of people who do listen to the show have the same concerns, same viewpoints, same interests that you and I share, whether it's, you know, our dating or marriage or music or politics or comedy or whatever it is. It's just like we have that all in common because we came from that same era.
Right.
And the thing is that unfortunately, just due to life in general, work, family, home, responsibilities, all that kind of stuff, most people don't have the luxury to pay attention
right
to what's going on out there. I mean, obviously, being that you work from home, you have the opportunity through the day while you're doing your work to look at other things.
Sure.
And the same way with me. I mean, when I get home, I mean, I'm here in my palace by myself, and it's just like, yeah, I can explore anything I want.
Right. Sure.
Which I do, and that's that's how I fill out my evening through the day, through at the end of the day, and I can, check out various things that, obviously I bring up probably a majority of the subject material to the show.
Oh yeah.
And, people, yeah, I get that, or yeah, I heard that, or I relate to that, or yeah, they're right about that, or, oh, I hate them fucking guys. That's not my thoughts.
Right. Sure.
So it's diverse. It's kind of what we do. It's got a little bit of an attitude to what we do. And that's where we're at this point.
Absolutely. And it's fun now. I think for a little while there, maybe a year and a half ago, I'll say, maybe a little less, but at least a year ago, I think we were a little heavy on societal shit. I think we were doing like an opening segment and then 5 hours of Confederate flag or whatever it was. I think we were very leaning toward that. But I think lately we found a pretty good balance. I think last 6 months or so, we found a pretty good balance of, some music stuff, some politics, some, bullshit that's going on, just societal bullshit stuff. But it's really kind of split off a little bit to where it's much more, you really don't know. And we don't know. We do not know, quite honestly, what's going to happen from segment to segment. And I'll give you a perfect example that happened, about 10 minutes ago. there was no real thought that Bob was going to come on for an hour and a half.
Not at all.
You were ready to do a topic when the phone rang.
Yeah.
and then we did an hour and a half with Bob. The show goes wherever the show goes. And I think that's like really one of the cooler features about this thing is it might not play so well for the fans because I know sometimes the fans don't like the topic and then it's a long sit through. But since the bulk of our fans are podcast listening fans, they may not listen to it today or tomorrow or 3 months from now. They might hear an episode, from a year ago today. And then they're just like, holy shit, that's fucking cool, or wow, what a cool thought, or boy, what a dumb segment or whatever. But, my point is that overall, the way people consume podcasts or what we do, segments or whatever, is universal now. It fits better because we do so many different topics. You can't label the show. And I think that's one of the reasons that the show has grown so much is because it just refuses now to be labeled in any way.
Yeah.
It's not political. It's not a music show. It's not a societal show. It deals with all of it,
mm-hmm.
And it doesn't, as much as people, I guess, seem to be upset on some level about some of the shit that we do, we never cower. We never cower, whether it's talking about racial shit in honesty or in joking and humor that you're not allowed to do anymore, or whether it's, interviewing a pedophile last week or a sexual predator or whatever last week,
right?
Whatever it is. We never fucking bend over backwards to fucking be nice, or to do the pleasant thing. And I honestly think it's weird because both of us hate society. I think that's pretty clear. Both me and you hate society. But you know what the sad part is? If society was to somehow fix itself, we would be obsolete.
You're right about that.
The minute everybody just says, hey, fuck you, I'm not going to fucking cave to this. And, the minute everybody has our opinion, then our show will have no edge.
Exactly.
So in a way, I hope people keep being snowflakey pussies because that fucking helps us.
Sure it does.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
But anyway, do you want to hear another email?
Hit me up.
All right. This is again from John. John Alphabet. And he writes. I want to thank you guys because I would have never known about the company Rock Candy that has released a great amount of remastered albums these past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have no idea what he was listening to where we were talking about Rock Candy. But
well, we talked about the Docket remasters.
Okay. I was listening to one of your episodes on YouTube. All right. And you guys mentioned that Docket's first few albums have been remastered and that the sound quality is very good.
It is.
In the past few months, I have gotten Docket's first 4 albums, Rat's first 4 albums, Quiet Riot's Mental Health and Condition Critical albums. Well, you could throw one of those back. White Lion's Pride album and Kix's Midnight Dynamite and Blow My Fuse albums, all remastered by Rock Candy. I have wanted all of these albums remastered for a long time, and they really do sound amazing. And some of them come with great bonus tracks. Bonus tracks. The next 2 on the way are Winger's self-titled and In the Heart of the Young albums. Thanks again for mentioning Rock Candy on one of your episodes. Hail and kill, fuck you, pal, and hand job.
Yeah, so we got our finger on the pulse of what's going on out there.
That's right.
Because we read blabbermouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, again, as much as I appreciate that information is available out there to everybody.
Sure.
I mean, we're not some kind of sage to where we're, where we know stuff that other people don't.
Right.
But the thing is it's easy just to click on a podcast and instead of having to search out stuff and read it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh yeah, I heard them talking about that because all I had to do was plug in and listen while I drove my car.
Well, but then we play it too. And I mean, that's a whole nother avenue of it as well. And we've covered that many times. When you listen to shitty ass Sirius, Hair Nation or whatever, they'll be like, yeah, there's these great new reissues that are coming out on Rock Candy of all these records. And here's something that's not on any of them.
That's true.
Here's there's all these records coming out from Kix and Winger and whoever else he mentioned. And here's Judas Priest, which has nothing to do with what we just said here.
That's true.
Sirius is shit.
Well, they're commercialized.
Just garbage.
It is.
Garbage. I tried, my daughter bought me the Sirius subscription at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Or for Christmas. And I tried it for like a month and a half, and then I just switched that money over to HBO.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The thing is I keep getting these offers in the email that said, hey, we miss you. Here's a deal, blah, blah, blah. They do have an incredible deal. But then I go, okay, well, it's $5 a month.
Yeah.
And then I go, I don't even listen to that. Why would I even bother?
Yeah.
I'll put that $5 a month into Spotify before I, put it into Sirius XM, because I listen to podcasts in my car and I go, what would I listen to on Sirius XM? Because I don't have a choice of programming.
Yeah.
And when I get in my car, I just got my iPhone, which, syncs up to my to my Bluetooth automatically. And so I could just pick and choose what I listen to. Like today, Bob sent us a message and said, hey, the new podcast is up, the new Skull Sessions. I hope you guys get to listen to it before the show tonight. So when I was out and about today, that's what I listened to in the car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's... Dude, I think it was Rogan, and I think he put it best with, don't you think satellite radio is just, the technology itself is stupid now?
Well, it's outdated.
Yeah, I mean, but it made sense at one time that the technology, not the programming, the technology was cutting edge when it came out. It really was interesting and different. And,
well, it was the only thing that was competitive to terrestrial radio.
Right. But now it's like the worst. It's worse than terrestrial radio, because there's no longer a need to send a signal out into space
and then bounce it back
to your car. There's no, and then the whole thing about that you can't hear it in a tunnel or anything. You still can't hear it in a tunnel or anything. And this is what, 15 years later?
Yeah. Well, it's a signal. It's a direct line signal. And once that signal is blocked, you don't get it.
It doesn't have that same bounce, whatever that bounce is that FM signal has, where it bounces off the ground in the clouds or whatever, where it, and it fills the air. And I don't know how any of that shit works, but I just know that terrestrial radio has something to do with bouncing. The signal bounces, so that it's never fully out of range. But dude, in a world now where everything is, Wi-Fi'd at this point. I mean, shit, a lot of cars have Wi-Fi in them now. Just the actual car has Wi-Fi.
Well, my car has Wi-Fi in it.
Oh, does it?
It does.
I didn't realize your car had Wi-Fi. Mine does not have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I have Wi-Fi in my car.
I don't. I have unlimited Wi-Fi on my phone, which might as well be Wi-Fi in my car.
Well, that's the whole thing. I don't have it activated. I mean, when my car, when I bought the car,
right,
it had 3 gigs of Wi-Fi available.
Okay.
But then if you wanted to continue that, then you have to pay a monthly fee, just like a cell phone.
Right.
But my cell phone has unlimited gigs.
Yeah, so you just use that.
So when it expired, I didn't up it because I don't need it.
And I can't imagine that you've ever come to a place where they would even throttle you.
Mm-mm.
And what do you use a month? A gig?
Yeah, something like that.
Probably nothing. Where my phone, between mine and my kids, my usage is like 150 gigs a month.
Yeah.
Some fucking stupid number, but But no, it's just such a different time. It's amazing how fast Wi-Fi and internet just blew past like satellite. Satellite, when it came out, didn't you think it was going to be like a big thing I thought it was going to replace radio.
Well, dude, satellite came out in 98. So we're already 21 years in.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah. Because I remember when I was still driving a truck, I would see the billboards out there about XM. It was like 98.
Right. I know I got it specifically for O&A. I got it in 2004 when O&A.
But they didn't get on satellite until later.
Right. Yeah.
But when it was available, it was like 98 or something like that.
Right. I didn't realize that it was that old.
Mm-hmm.
God, 21 years ago. But yeah, it's already antiquated. I mean, when did regular radio start? And it's still not antiquated completely. So last night, I called my friend Scotty, who and I haven't seen Scotty in a few months actually, which is unusual because we usually get together about once a month and knock back a case of beer and just kind of shoot the shit and whatever. So I called him up and we were like, I was like, hey, you want to go grab some beers and some dinner? And he was like, yeah, let's meet up. And I was like, okay. So we went to a BW3's in Streetsboro there.
Okay. Yeah. So, the one right there on 14, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
So we go to BW3's and we get some dinner. And for whatever reason, we were both in a faggy mood last night,
Okay.
So I sucked his cock. I mean, no. No. So for whatever reason, we were just ordering like no beers. We ordered margaritas and mojitos.
All right.
And so, and we didn't stay that long. We got there like 7:30. And by the time we left, we ate some dinner and had 2 margaritas and a mojito, in like 2 hours. We were there from like 7:30 to 9:30. So, like, fair enough. I mean, that's not enough to even get me like remotely buzzed or anything. It's nothing. So we leave the club or the bar at like 9:30. I get out on the road. Now I'm going to backtrack a little. Remember a couple weeks ago when I was taking texts from my daughter on the air?
Yeah.
And she said she couldn't get out of the car.
Yeah. She broke your door handle or something.
She broke the door handle and they had to order a part. So she had my car for a while and then it was turned in and basically I didn't have my car for like another 10 days. So I got my car back on Monday of this week. I get my car back. And before that, my daughter had been driving the car. So, and that'll make sense in a minute to the story. So I get out, we come out of the bar. I get in my car, back up, pull out onto State Route 14, which is a pretty well lit road, as you're well aware.
Yeah.
But it's a highway, but it's like through a town, so it's well lit. And I'm driving down the road toward the main highway to get on the highway
to 480.
To 480.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I did not get, I would say, not 1,000 feet. And all of a sudden, I see this fucking cop on the other side of the road flip his lights on and do a U-ey right to get behind me. And I'm like, motherfucker, what am I doing here? And I was like, am I weaving? Am I drunk? I don't know it. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I did here.
Yeah.
And I'm like, son of a bitch. And then I looked down and my dashboard was not lit. And I was like, motherfuck. My daughter, when she was driving the car, she didn't understand I have like those auto lights on my car.
Yeah.
They come on when it's dark and they turn off when it's not.
Yeah, it's daytime running lights.
Yeah. Well, there's a setting for that.
Mm-hmm. It's auto.
Yeah. Well, I always keep it on auto. I never turn that off.
Same thing with me. I always leave mine on auto.
Well, apparently she turned it off, so I was driving without my lights on. And I was like, motherfucker.
Now, I'm assuming this is a Streetsboro local.
Yeah, local Streetsboro cop.
Okay.
Comes up. And lesson for everybody right here. I took my wallet out of my pocket, or my wallet out of my pocket. I did do that. And I took my license out of my wallet. Wasn't in the wallet, was in my hand. I rolled down the window. I put both hands on the fucking steering wheel.
Mm-hmm.
Cop comes up, polite as could be. Do you know why I stopped you? Yeah. My lights weren't on. Yes. Why weren't your lights on? I told him, I said, my daughter borrowed my car last week. She must have turned off the auto lights. I could show you the setting that it's an auto light thing. Not a big deal. Cop says to me, he goes, well, where are you coming from? And I said, I'm coming from BW3s. We were watching the Indians game and, had a couple of drinks with dinner. And he goes, how many is a couple? I said, I guess 2, and he goes, okay, cool. He goes, I'm going to go check your license and then I'll be right back. And I was like, okay. And I was like, all right, this is going well. I was like, this is fine, So he comes back and he has the little blow test thing.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, man, I just fucking power chugged that last margarita like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, this could be fucking tense here. So he goes to me, he goes, I need you to blow into this thing, into this straw, and it'll register your blood alcohol content. And I said to him, I said, well, what happens if I choose not to do that? And he goes, well, if you choose not to do that, then you're under arrest for suspicion of driving under the influence. So I rolled the dice. I thought about it for a second. I was thinking I might just roll with it and then, let him do the blow test in 2 hours. And when I knew I would be under, because I just wasn't sure with just downing a drink like 5 minutes earlier. But then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's roll the dice. I can afford a DWI if I get one, So I was like, fuck it, because I'm rich and wealthy and all that.
And you can have one of your young girlfriends bail you out.
That's right. But I won't lie. I really thought about it. I was like, if I get a ticket, it's $1,200. I can afford that. And I really thought that. And I was like, fuck it. Who cares? So he gives me the thing, or he's holding it and he's like, take a deep breath and blow, and you blow in it for like 10 seconds or 15 minutes or something, or 15 seconds or whatever it is. And then he says, stop. And then I'm just sitting there and I'm telling you, I was nervous as fuck.
Yeah, of course.
I was like, what, that waiting, that little time that I was waiting, I was like, please don't let it be. Please don't let it be. Please don't let it be. And sure enough, he shows it to me and he goes, you're 0.012. And I was like, okay. And in my mind, I was like, really? 0.02? That's like spilling a drink on you. That's not like a high number at all.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, cool. And he's like, here, take the straw. He popped the straw off and he goes, here, take this as a souvenir. And that was it. So I took the straw as the souvenir and I drove off. He was like, just turn your lights on and be careful going home or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. And that was it. And I went home and, I was kidding around with you last night, but I think it was appropriate. I think I should leave a bad Yelp review for BW3s for their weak drinks.
Right. Their weak ass drinks.
Because I had 3 drinks in 2 hours and I didn't even blow a 0.02.
Yeah.
That's a weak drink there, don't you think?
I would say so.
Yeah. But here it is, dude. Here's my straw from my DWI stuff.
Well, I got pulled over a few weeks ago talking to you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Did you get a ticket?
No. No, I was on my way to work. I was talking to you.
Right.
And I was cruising along the Indiana toll road.
Right.
And I was probably cruising right around 83 or 84.
Right.
And while I was talking to you, I kept looking in my rearview mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and I could see probably a good quarter mile behind me or so, quarter to half a mile.
Right.
There, I know that road so well because I travel it every day. And
Right.
I know that there's a unmarked black Charger that cruises that part of the interstate.
Mm-hmm.
And I kept looking in my rearview mirror way, 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 way back. And I
Right.
see him back there.
Right.
And I thought, is that cop? So I just let off the gas and I let the cars just slow down to 70.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just stayed at 70 while I was talking to you.
Right.
Well, probably about a minute to a minute and a half later, he comes zooming up on my back, on my back, flipped the lights on, pulled me over.
Right.
And so I pulled over just like you, took out my wallet, got my license out, just sat there.
Yep.
He come up on the passenger side. I rolled down the window,
Mm-hmm.
said, "Good morning, officer. How could I help you?"
Right.
He says, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" I said, "No, I don't. Why? What is my license expired or something?"
Right.
And he goes, "No." He says, "I think I may have clocked you at a consistent speed of 83.4 or something like that."
He thinks that?
That's what he said.
Okay.
And I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Do you know what the speed limit is through this area?" I said, "Yeah, 70. He says, "How fast do you think you were going?" I said, "I don't know. I may have topped 75 at the best."
Yeah.
He goes, "Well, have you had any speeding tickets recently?" I said, "No, not in about 20 years.
Right.
And he goes, "Well, I'm going to go run your license. I'll be right back." And so he went to his car and stuff, came back with my license. He goes, "Well, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm just going to let you go with a warning today."
Gee, thanks.
He says, just slow it down, will you?" And I run a radar detector, so I know he wasn't running radar.
Right. Sure.
And he points to my radar detector and he says, "And those things right there are usually a deal breaker."
So why'd he let you go?
Well, because I kept him honest. Now, had I not had that radar detector, he could have very easily said that he got me on radar doing X amount.
Are they legal or illegal in?
No, they're legal in Indiana.
Okay.
Yeah, but having one is like, well, you have one because you're a speeder.
Right.
And it's like, no, I have one because I'm keeping you honest.
Right. Right.
Because you could have very easily told me that you had your radar on.
Mm-hmm.
But you know that I have a radar detector and I would know if you did or not.
Right.
So, yeah, he just let me go with a warning.
Well, that's cool. Yeah. I mean, we all have watched enough cop stuff to know the cops will lie to you.
Yeah. So, he saw that radar detector right away and he was just like, yeah, he says, yeah, those are usually a deal breaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for who? You or me?
Yep. Mid-August already.
I know, it's ridiculous.
It just flies. I almost think that because we have something every single week with the show, it makes the time go faster because we do something so regular that it just.
Yeah, maybe I guess, but I just think it's because we're just getting old.
You think if we were 20, it would still be like May?
Yeah, I think so. I think time would slow down a little bit if we were younger. I mean, I just don't remember a time in my life where the years and the summers and everything flew by the way that they have. But, a guy like yourself and a guy like me who's, dedicates 12, 14 hours a day just to work, that just consumes a lot of time.
It does. But, hey, that's all right. You know what? Things could be worse than the lives we're living, right? Since we're rich and fucking, chicks half our age and stuff.
Well, yeah. Well, speaking of that.
Did you?
Did I what?
I don't even want to ask. I don't want to ask on the air.
No, I didn't do anything with a half-age chick. I did meet a new friend today. Well, I met her months ago, but I talked to her a little more today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Nothing. Just a little hey, how you doing type thing. That's about
Right.
it.
What grade she?
Huh?
What grade she in?
What grade? Well, let's just say grade A. How's that?
All right, grade A poon.
Yeah.
Could she make an appearance on the Epstein island?
I don't know. What's the minimum age limit on that?
Legal?
Oh yeah, she's legal.
Oh, is she legal? How old is she?
28.
Dude, what are you doing? That's ancient for you. 28?
Yeah, that's ancient.
That's like 2 girlfriends.
Yeah, probably.
28. That's like closing in on your like real age. What the fuck?
True.
All right, is she into what you're into or no?
Well, I've talked about her on the show before. She's the girl who works at the Quaker Steak and Lube.
Oh, I see what you're trying for.
No, I'm not trying anything. We just got to chatting today a little bit, and she was just asking me, well, what do you do for fun and all that kind of stuff. So I told her a little bit about the show, and she's, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So how long before she listens and then spits in your food?
Well, the thing is today was her last day.
Oh, where's she going?
Well, she's got a real gig.
Oh, okay, but she's still staying local, I mean?
Oh, yeah. She's not moving away or anything. She's just got a real job now.
All right, well, look at you.
Yeah.
Did you see her? Was she the one that made your prime rib yesterday, too?
No. That was a different place.
Oh, I see.
That was a different place.
Just trying to keep up with you, man.
No, not. It's nothing. It's just a little, hey, how you doing type thing,
I know. That's how that all starts.
Really?
I mean, I remember one that started with a, hey, could you pass my name along to Wendell? I haven't seen him in a while.
Well, that one I knew a long time before as well.
Next thing I know, you're fucking screaming down the highway, pissed off like a motherfucker trying to get from Pittsburgh to Chicago. I don't know what the fuck happened in between.
Yeah, well, it all happens that way, doesn't it?
It sure does.
It's like, demon!
I'm not speaking to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Take me home, you bastard.
We're leaving. We're going home now.
You're mean. I'm going to sit here and pout for 6 hours of driving.
Exactly.
And you were like, 6 hours, my ass. We're making it in 3.5.
Yeah. State troopers be damned.
And before I go, shout out to the Classic Metal Show. I did an interview on there yesterday. Dudes are intelligent, awesome, prepared, funny. Please check them out. Classic Metal Show. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.